Then we're gonna go over all the stuff that you guys have ordered. We're gonna send out today. There's a lot of really good cordovan stuff. All right, so we've got a group of our normal items and then a group of irregular items. And let me give you a look at that first. So here's the non-irregular stuff, I should say. And the wallet I pulled out for the thumbnail is this really beautiful Johnny the Fox in 100% amaretto shell cordovan. This is an incredible wallet for me to see because we need naturally thin pieces of shell for the inside of the Johnny the Fox because of all these layers. And it's a rare color of shell. So rare thin pieces plus a rare shell color. It's just super tough to make. And it turns out really nicely. It's my favorite shell color. Another one that's really nice here, natural shell cordovan Tony the Ant. And I mentioned in all these live videos, these are things that we're going to prep out and ship today. So many of them do not have the edges finished. So you can see this one here we've started on. I still need to wax and burnish all the edges of this wallet. We've got another cool, a lot of shell cordovan stuff today. Another Frank the Enforcer here. All reverse shell cordovan. We try to cut that ink stamp into nice visible spots. And the reason I suggest reverse shell cordovan to a lot of people is it gives it a really unique look, but it also develops a great patina because it starts off that lighter color. The fibers are a little bit more open, so it tends to darken and brighten in luster very quickly. Here's another amaretto shell piece, Bugs Moran. This is our traditional card holder layout. I actually find these to be a little bit easier to use than the vertical Bugs Moran, but I think a lot of people have been preferring the vertical bugs, perhaps because there's 2 additional slots on that design. Here's our most popular wallet. Hi, Joseph. Good morning. This is Johnny the Fox, 100% English tan Dublin, which is a really beautiful, clean, consistent look. We also do we add a little bit of color into the edge finishing on this guy. Still need to polish this up a little bit, but it gives it a really clean look because the edges tend to match the color of the English tan very nicely. And then you get that incredible grain character on the English tan Dublin. Hi, BFET. Good morning. Here's an Apple Watch band that we're sending out today. This one is in natural shell cordovan. I haven't put the hardware on here yet. I think the customer wants black hardware for this watch band. But these wear in great unlined straps tend to be more comfortable in my experience. So these are just a thicker piece of shell cordovan with no liner on the back. So everything touches your wrist, just really, really comfortable. Hi, it's Renners. Here's a one-shot card case. We were supposed to send this one out yesterday, but we sort of oversold. Working on a little bit of a smaller batch of these to restock. English tan Dublin one-shot's one of our more popular items. I think that's our least expensive thing. Here's a really cool comb and comb sheath. So this is reverse black shell cordovan for the comb sheath, and this is a metal comb. It's really hefty. We do also sell a less expensive version of the Chicago combs from our local friends here. They make all these in Chicago, and the less expensive one is made out of carbon fiber. But there's something to be said about the feel for a hefty comb like this. It's stainless steel, I believe, and this one has a special like a matte black finish to it, which pairs really well with the reverse black cordovan sheath that we sell it with. Here's one of my favorite wallets that we've been doing. They're all my favorites, right? But I really love color number 4 shell cordovan. It's that really nice medium brown shade with reddish undertones. And then we've paired this one with some contrasting cream stitching on the outside as well as natural latigo on the inside, which is a really beautiful look. There's something about the combination of color 4 and natural that work really well. Here's a Fat Herbie. This is our flagship design here in color 8 shell cordovan, the classic cordovan color. We do a really nice hand-stained edge for the black and color 8 shell items, and I think it's looking great. This is something we've changed in the last year, and I'm really preferring the look of the hand-stained edges on these classic colors. I see the chat here, but I'll have to get back to you in a sec. Hi, Quan. We were talking about vertical bugs. This is a vertical Bugs Moran, the same silhouette as the traditional bug. So very perfect size, in my opinion. It's very nicely handheld. It's about the size of a deck of cards. And the vertical card slots on the inside, we have 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then there's a hidden card slot underneath each of those. These have become really popular. And another English tan Dublin piece, our most popular leather, of course. This is our passport holder. Still need to finish up the edges on this guy. But you can see there's two larger open compartments on the passport holder. So you can put a passport on each side if you really wanted to. But we designed it with field notes in mind also. So you can fit field notes or any other documents underneath either of the sides. And then there's a couple card holders. And this little slot here, there's not a lot of pens that fit in there, but if you get a small pen, it'll fit nicely in there. And we got a couple shoe care products shipping out today. This is the Horween Venetian Shoe Cream. I've been using this on all my footwear. I put it on once a month now, and I've been really liking the results. It fills in the leather very nicely and gives it a nice bright shine. And this is Shell Cordovan, the Cordovan cream from Saphir. We use this on every Cordovan wallet that we ship out, and I think it does a pretty similar thing where it fills in the leather a bit and then gives it a nice bright shiny luster. Really like that product. We've got a couple belts going out. English Tan Dublin. This is a really nice piece of Dublin for this belt. And we also have a color number 8 belt going out today. Also really beautiful chrome excel leather here. It's interesting because we say color 8 to match the color 8 shell, which was way back over here. Hi, Ryan. Oh, this is your wallet. Hey, thank you so much, Ryan. It's a really beautiful piece that you got coming your way. We'll send that out today. But you'll notice that the color 8 chrome excel, the translation was supposed to be from this color 8 shell Cordovan. And when they translate that color over to the chrome excel, it gives it a little bit of a different look. It's almost like a little bit more cherry. And I think that's because if you make it match perfectly, there's a depth of color in the Cordovan and a directionality of color that really make it look burgundy and oxblood, but that same directionality does not exist in the chrome excel. So they achieve it by getting a little bit of a lighter undertone. That pull-up color is a little bit more cherry, where the surface color matches more closely to the color of the shell Cordovan. And then we've got a couple irregulars going out. I wanted to show you this one here. This is a design that we released probably in 2012, so it's been over 10 years now. And we stopped offering it because it seemed like people started preferring some of our other styles, like the Bugs Moran. But this is a design that was made to be asymmetrical. So when you fold it in half like this, you'll notice that it doesn't completely fold symmetrically. There's a little bit of a gap left there, and that was by design. We were thinking that would be awesome, and it is awesome to use cards on the left and then cash on the right, and there's no card slot on the back. The other thing that we do a little bit differently on this, guys, you'll notice on this top edge here, we actually thin down the leather and turn it over the outside edge and stitch it down. So it gives it a little bit of a different aesthetic there. So that's the Louis Little New York. This is an irregular that we're sending out today. Then we've got a couple natural shell Cordovan Fat Herbies that we're sending out. These are irregulars also. I think there's one left that is a little bit darker than these. So all the irregular items are, in my mind, a pretty nice deal. There's some slight cosmetic issues, but they tend to be issues that you might see in the leather after you wear the wallet for just a day or two. So it's kind of a good way to save a little bit of money as long as you're not too precious about how it starts off. But you can see here, it's a very beautiful piece of leather. There might be like little scuffs and scratches in the leather, or there might be some inconsistencies in the stitching. This one looks pretty good at first glance. You can't really see what the issue is there. And then here's the other one, really beautiful piece of natural shell. And that's our most popular Cordovan color. I think people really like the notion of patina, something that's going to change over time, get a little bit darker, a little bit more golden, but the luster also changes. I find it to develop in layers, and it's really, really beautiful. So natural shell Fat Herbie, irregular going out. And the last one that we'll look at is another passport holder. And this is also that classic color 8 shell Cordovan. You can see we've got that nice matching edge. So this is our hand-stained edge, and then we wax and burnish it up. It's a huge piece of Cordovan for the passport holder. Honestly, I think these are a little underpriced, but just because the size of the shell that we need to cut this huge piece of Cordovan is really expensive. But we did want to have a reasonably priced passport holder. So that's something I've been thinking about, is how to do a passport holder. Might be a little bit different. I'm kind of thinking along the lines of the small zip, to maybe make sort of like a zippered passport holder. But this is the last wallet we'll look at. Color 8 shell cordovan passport holder, irregular. So now it's time for me to do my favorite part and thank everybody individually. And we'll look at my list of people here. But if you have any questions, happy to chat with you. I see people chatting here. We're still you can see some new things that we're working on in the shop. We got some storage items that we're trying to build and organize the shop, trying to get a little bit more efficient to keep our costs down so we don't have to raise prices. At least that's the goal. All right, so chat, I see, let's see if I can go back here. It's Renners. You need to pick up an English tan Herbie. I suggest that they're very, very nice right now. I really like all the English tan Dublin stuff, but also Fat Herbie is my favorite style just because I wear my wallet in the back pocket. I really like it. Thanks again, Ryan. Quan says, is football leather thin enough to make a Johnny the Fox? Yes, it can be. They can make the football leather very thick, but they can also make the football leather a little bit thinner. When we've done in the past, we've actually bought football leather made out of the horse hides, which are inherently thinner, and I like them a lot. At the moment, I don't think we have any football leather in-house, but that's something that we get requests for every now and then, so we could probably do it again. Rob says, do you source the dye for your edges from Horween, or did you reverse engineer? We actually partnered with Horween to get those dyes from them. BFET says, when you guys start making shell belts, what's the max size? 40? That's a good question, actually. If I recall, we did ask ourselves that question. And thinking back, I think the longest length that we can get, and I'll have to give you a firm answer later, but I think it was like 42 or 44 inches for most of the shells. And there's some special circumstances where the shells are really long, or some of them. It's like a rare occurrence, but every horse shell is a little bit different. So some of them are really, really long, but they're kind of rare. So that's not to say we couldn't do longer, but generally speaking, just like a little bit above 40, maybe 42, 44, if I recall correctly, was as far as we could get. Guillermo says, are you offering the smaller key fob on the site? Yeah, we don't have, during the holidays here, we've emphasized making some of our wallet styles that were more in demand and de-emphasized some of the smaller goods, which is why you're not seeing a lot of watch bands, one-shots, key fobs and stuff. And we are, we can make whatever you want. So if there's something that you're interested in, you can just send my brother Matt an email. The email address is info@ashlandleather.com, and we can just make one for you, whatever color you want or anything like that. Hopefully that helps. I don't think there's too many key fobs available right now. But let me go through the list here and just thank everybody, because that's my favorite part of this. I really appreciate you guys supporting us. So if your name is one of the following names here, you probably saw your wallet in the video today, unless it was like a made-to-order item. So thank you so much, Patrick, Damian, Gary, Ryan, Philip, Gene, Sarby, Keenan, Stuart, Peter, George, Andrew, Zoha, Wes, Guangyu, Jackson, George, Daniel, Thomas, Suyash, Jenya, William, Dustin, and Aaron. Appreciate you guys very, very, very much. And some good news too. We've got it on the calendar now to start up shooting the podcast again. So that'll be coming back soon. I'm not really sure when. It might be even February, but we're gonna start filming some new episodes. Cyber Prepper says, what's the difference from private stock and regular stock items? So we have, I don't know if you call it special access, but basically we're collectors of leather. We just love all the different leathers that Horween makes. And every now and then they will make things as trials and we buy them because I think they're cool. But also there's sometimes cordovan colors or different leathers that are non-cordovan that are not produced very frequently or are special in some regard. And we will make pieces from that leather. So if it's a special thing that we can't do all the time or can only do so many of, we will offer that as a private stock item. Sometimes we'll make more than one. Like in the example right now, we've got several amaretto pieces that we made what I call like a small batch of. So there's like 5 or 10 made in that amaretto shell, which is a color that is not often produced. Therefore, I cannot often buy it. But I do collect that leather, so I have more available that we can do for like made to order stuff. But the big delineation is we're trying to keep things in stock. So when you order it, I can ship it right away. And I think that is a more pleasant experience as a customer to be able to get your order your thing and get it quickly, as opposed to waiting for weeks and weeks. So we try to keep what we perceive you guys enjoying. We try to keep those in stock as much as we can, and we do run out of stock. And I sometimes get comments of people being frustrated or upset that I don't have something available right now. But you can see our shop here. It's a small team of people, and we can only make so many things. So when you have so many different products and so many different colors and so many different leathers, it's a pretty big challenge to keep everything in stock all the time. So we're trying to narrow our aperture of focus on some things that we're going to try to have available all the time, with the idea of having a lot of private stock, more special, unique treasures available on a more consistent basis. So the goal is to try to do at least one of those every month. And looking at the calendar, I think we have a couple things this month still. We're going to do some marbled cordovan pieces, and then I've got a new leather coming that we'll be offering as sort of like a pseudo private stock for the marbled stuff. And the marbled cordovan is really hard because every piece is completely unique. So I need to take a lot of individual photos for all the marbled cordovan pieces and sell them as like each of their own product pages. Because again, like every piece is completely random and completely unique. Luis says, will you guys be offering a vertical Frank the Enforcer again? Any pros and cons of vertical versus horizontal Frank? That was a private stock. So that's the other angle of private stock, is we have a really talented group of individuals here in our shop that have really great ideas. So the vertical Frank was a notion that Lupe in the shop had, just looking at the pattern pieces, like what would happen if I laid it out this way? I think it turned out really well. I don't think we're planning to stock that just yet. But if the comments like you're giving me right now are really helpful, because if I see a lot of people saying, I really want that vertical Frank instead of the traditional Frank, we might just switch to that. So the prudent example would be with the Bugs Moran, it's really seeming like most people prefer the vertical bugs. So we might just try to stock those instead of our traditional bugs and just get rid of the traditional bugs. Ringmaster says, I just purchased private stock bugs. Oh, I think you may, if you rewind, you might just see it in the video here. You have it loaded up, but the wallet does not lay flat. Oh, you got it already. The wallet does not lay flat. Is there a way to speed up the process? I have successfully worn the Bugs Moran and it lays flat in my pocket with 16 cards inside of there. So depending on what leather you chose, there is a slight bit of break-in time. And I wouldn't say it should take more than a couple days to a week. And it also kind of depends on where you wear it. So if you load up that wallet and put it in a bag, it's not going to get the pressure of your body to start the molding process of the leather around all your stuff. So for me, I just wear it and it will conform eventually. But if you're sitting on it with a big bottom like I have, stuff tends to just mold around. The leather that we use, especially if it's a veg tan, will very quickly mold and form to everything you put inside it. So to speed up the process, I wouldn't mess with it. Like if you think back, I think back to when I was a kid, I had a baseball glove and people would tell me to put a couple baseballs in the baseball glove and tie it with a rubber band and then put it under your pillow, like weird stuff. But then you would get like a rubber band marker on the leather. Just wear it and use it and it will become part of your style very quickly. So I wouldn't try to expedite that process very much. But yeah, if you have that amaretto cordovan, it should start to form within a week. And again, it depends on where you use it. But if you're having issues, that's what we're here for, right? So if you have any problems with it and it's like, man, something seems wrong, just send us an email or, like a live chat here. I'm trying to do these every morning. You can email me, phil@ashtonleather.com, or you can email my brother, Matt, info@ashtonleather.com. If something feels wrong, like we want to make sure you have the perfect wallet for your style. So send us photos, send us a little description of what's going on. We can try to advise you. And, maybe we made a mistake on something. So we'd be happy to help and fix that for you. Most call me Andy. Do you have any psychedelic or similar cordovan in the shop? I do. So I'm going to sit back in my chair for this one. The psychedelic has become, I love it. And it seems like a lot of people really enjoy that look. But there is a challenge with us sending photos of the leather that we have and letting you choose from the exact piece of the shell that you want for your wallet. It doesn't work. So we're not doing that anymore. And here's the reason why. Each piece of shell, if you look at it, you go, I would really like this little section right here that has this contrast from orange to green to purple or something like that. And we could agree that that's the coolest part of the skin, but it might not be the appropriate thickness for the pattern piece of that style that you're trying to make. So there's sort of dimensions of things to consider when cutting a wallet. So not every piece of leather is appropriate for that. So we've been trying to do more of the private stock things for the, we've been trying to use more of the psychedelic and the private stock to have just a completed piece for people to look at and say, yeah, I want that. But going the other direction from like the demand side of it to say like, I really want this specific piece of psychedelic kind of doesn't work for us or you, it just doesn't work. But if you're flexible on it, what I would suggest is to email Matt, info@ashtonleather.com, say, I want a private stock, whatever wallet, and have him make it and just say, I'd like you to send me a photo of this before you ship it because I'm just not certain I want it. Or say, I really like the psychedelic that has this color range. Can you make me something like that? And then send me a photo before you ship it. And we can do that. The other thing that can be helpful to think about is like I said, we really want you to have the perfect wallet. So we can make you that psychedelic piece, send it to you, and you can say, you know what, it's not what I was thinking. You can send it back as long as it's unused. We can take that back for return, but we would keep the custom fee that's associated with it, which is 10% of the cost of the wallet. So I think it's a pretty fair arrangement, and we can work with you on it. So hopefully that helps. And then there's one more thing that's super off topic that my I have a band, and we just released like minutes ago an announcement of a pre-order for a new record. So let me just show you this on my iPad here. So my band's called Outrun the Sunlight, and there's these cool looking vinyl pre-orders. Check out that splatter. So the green, it's like a translucent green, some orange and like a cream color. And then there was this gray one I thought looked really neat. So this is a record that's coming out in February. But this is also, for this record, perhaps my favorite. I mean, this is so ego of a thing to say, but it's my favorite bass performance that I've ever done on a recording. So I'm really proud of it. I thought it turned out great. And the thing has been done for maybe like 6 months now. And I like it a lot. So if you're into like metal and heavy metal type stuff, you might want to check out that pre-order there. But hey, thank you guys for the great questions today. Nataka, you made it. Oh, any thoughts on Guillermo says, any thoughts on vertical card layout for the Tony the Ant? We've done it before, but we have to stop. There's something about how the vertical card slots line up with the Tony the Ant. The construction of it was, we could do it. It's just not as high quality as we like. I think we could do it, but it's It's not something we're accepting right now, but that's not to say that we won't change our stance on that. So, oh, I'm glad you checked it out, Ntaku. All right, guys, we'll be back again tomorrow with some more stuff. I appreciate you guys being here and everybody that's picked up something from the site. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned this week. I think I got some marbled cordovan items coming later this week. All right, until then,